Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly and welcome everybody once again for another video of DIY investing. You guys have been hiding under a rock recently, but Teeka'S has been the talk of the town with his top 5 altcoins heading into this next bull run. Everybody's been talking about what exactly his top 5 picks are because this guy has accurately predicted the best performing crypto over the last 5 years. Teeka'S often is one of the best connected people inside of the space and is doing lots of interviews with some of the better people inside of crypto and some of the more connected figures inside of the community. He often goes around traveling every single day, interviewing these people, finding all of the information he can, and then he makes the signals out of all of his information and then gives you his top 5 picks going into this year. Now, we're going to actually be going through here and talking about his top 5 picks heading into this next market cycle because I think that a lot of these are setting up, and I think a lot of them could be in a point where you would actually be able to wait for a better entry. I think a lot of people are FOMOing into these entries and they are really excited because he is such a well-known figure in the space. But I honestly think that now is not the time to be buying into these because all of the smart money already bought. We're going to be diving into these charts today. I'm going to be giving you guys my short-term and long-term projection with all of these cryptos. So make sure you guys stay to the end so you don't miss out on any of this exciting information I'm going to share with you. Make sure you guys do myself a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Help me get to a goal of 1,000 likes in this video, and make sure you guys subscribe to this channel and help me get to 20,000 subscribers. We're very close to getting there. We're over 17,000 right now and growing very fast, so make sure you guys help me get to those goals. If you're also looking for an amazing Discord community, I have a Discord server with over 4,000 members joined. This is a really good way for you guys to actually engage and talk crypto with some of the other people inside of this community. Now, through my Discord, I also offer some of my more exclusive content, being my signals and the video course. Now, the video course is 20 educational videos that teach you guys all of the same strategies that I use to profit inside of crypto. So if you guys are actually wanting to learn how to be a profitable day trader and how to do your own cryptocurrency analysis, I highly recommend that you guys check that out. Now, the signals are actually a way for you guys to copy my long-term investments that I'm taking over the course of this bull run. All of my top long-term picks are going to be able for you guys to actually copy my portfolio and then follow along with exact exit points in which I'll be taking profits. So if this is something that interests you guys, make sure you guys join and click the description of this video and then click the invitation link to my Discord. Once you guys have access, shoot me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Now, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for the support. We got a lot of analysis to cover on a number of different coins, so let's jump right in this amazing video today. Alright guys, so jumping into number 1 on the list is going to be Enginecoin. Now obviously this is going to be a list that one of the better figures inside of cryptocurrency has created. This is something that I actually figured out the picks based off of the following day after they were announced. All of them were up significantly on Binance, and so all of these are Binance coins that you guys can accumulate. It's really not hard to understand which of his coins they are because the following day, or actually it was it wasn't very long after his initial webinar on the 18th of March, we started to easily tell which coins were on that list because some of them were up 100% over that day. So the number 1 on the list today is going to be Enginecoin. I want to talk about this one first because this is actually one I've been accumulating since way before I'd even heard about it from Teeka'S. Now, Enginecoin is a platform for video games. Now, basically, one thing I've been really looking forward to inside of the video game economy was having cryptocurrencies and blockchains being developed inside of that specter. Now, what Enginecoin does is it basically takes in-game skins. So take Fortnite, for example. You can buy skins for like your guns and armor and things like that, and you can pay for those through Fortnite. Now, Enginecoin is actually a platform that allows you to create in-game skins and use them as a real tokenized asset. So I think that this holds a significant use case because the video game economy is so big nowadays, and I think blockchain is going to be a major catalyst for seeing a lot of new innovation inside of that space. And so Enginecoin is number 1 today because I've been accumulating this one. Now we're going to go through and take a look at only the technical perspective of these because, to be quite honest guys, It's very important because I'm here to show you guys the technical aspects of crypto. I use technical analysis. I do sometimes get into a little bit of a fundamental perspective, but it's never very much because this is my pride and joy here. This is the formula that I oftentimes use. Now, you guys can go through here and look at all of the fundamentals, go research these coins. Maybe some of these are secret gems because this guy is a very well-connected person, but that's just something to keep a note of. Now, another thing to keep a note of is the fact that with watching this video, I think it's really important to understand that the way that he's kind of set up his signals are often like a pyramid. And so you got to understand that by the time you guys are watching this video, you're at the very bottom of that pyramid. And so you got to really understand that now is probably not the best time to be buying because all of the smart money has already bought that dip. Now, looking at Enginecoin here, I think that this one is still setting up pretty thoroughly right now. We had this major descending resistance. We broke from that here in this most recent rise, but we actually had to sell back off, and then we ended up retesting this descending resistance as support, and we're starting to impulse from there. And so this is a major bullish move that just took place here. We broke from our immediate downtrend that had been holding us, and now this is now bullish. Now, what I'm noticing here, if we go through and look at Elliott waves, this was just a big one wave, and we're working on the three, right? So let's go through here. Let's hide the wave. This was just a big one wave. Now, this impulse that happened at the start of the new year is our one of the three. And so for me, this is still a very underdeveloped market cycle, and we should see a pretty big rise still to come. And so I'm going to be watching pretty closely for Enginecoin because I've actually been excited about this one for a while, but this to me just looks like a really early cycle, similar to kind of like Chainlink, where Chainlink pumped, fully retraced, made a little impulse, and then we went into new all-time highs. This one's very close to following that same trajectory here. And so I'm going to be watching this one closely heading into this next cycle because this is actually one of my long-term picks that I've already been accumulating and have posted signals in the Discord. I started buying my first bags down in here at about 75 cents, and then I've added a couple different times to those at higher points. But to me, I think that this is a really I think this is a really undervalued product, and when we do see a lot of these new gamers start to take initiative of this cryptocurrency revolution, I think that, you know, these tokenized assets have a real significant case for seeing a major adoption from these video games because, you know, with money becoming digital, it only makes sense that digital things like video games are going to see be one of the first adopters of that technology, and it just makes sense to me. And so watching this one, I think this next three wave very easily could see us at this all-time high mark or even breaking the all-time high mark. And I would assume by the time we finish this three wave, we're going to be well beyond this all-time high mark. And I could very easily see us, you know, the top of the three wave, we could be at $1. That's pretty high target, but I would say that we would see, you know, at least like 65 cents in this three wave. That's what I'm going to be watching for. But for me, guys, this is a long-term hold. We have really good volume. That's a dead giveaway. With this impulse, this is just the one of the three. And so all of this that's coming, I think, is going to be pretty significant. And so we should, in theory, see a pretty strong impulse coming very soon from Engine. So keep it on your list. Next up on the list is going to be MCO. Now, I'm starting with Monaco and Engine because these are two coins that I've actually already known about and had been watching for a while prior to Teeka'S actually posting those in his newsletter. Now, what I'm noticing here with Monaco is the fact that this was a major falling wedge pattern that we were consolidating in, and just recently we had actually broken from that. So we can see that we contracted, we broke out, we made a higher high, and now we're really just kind of consolidating sideways. And so for me, I'm seeing this right now, and I think that this is just correction outside of this, but with this being a falling wedge, this is a bullish reversal pattern and a continuation pattern. So obviously we already had a bullish trend from back in 2017. We have made a higher high. We've broken outside of this, that we're going to start seeing a pretty strong impulse coming. Now, if I look from a shorter time frame, we can see that this dip was brought up very quickly, and that's actually because this is when he announced his picks, and we can see that we got bought up fast from that because there was a lot of whales that were looking to accumulate his picks. That's why I'm telling you guys, now is probably not the best time to be buying because it's already pumped as much as it has. I would actually be looking for it to drop maybe a little bit lower, but with that being said, guys, I'm not really trying to show you guys exact entries and exits. I'm just sharing with you guys my analysis around these coins and why I think that they actually have a use case. Now, Monaco itself is a cryptocurrency exchange called crypto.com. They're also issuing their own crypto debit card, and this is a significant use case and fundamental perspective that we need to consider, because there really isn't a lot of functioning debit cards that we can actually spend our crypto. The fact that MCO is developing one and has been developing one for a while, I remember these things being in development from back in 2017, and so I would like to see this one actually get a functioning product. And I think that when it does, this has a significant factor of actually capitalizing on some of that retail money, because there's going to be people that are going to be wanting to spend their crypto, and I think that Monaco is a very feasible option for doing that. And so looking at this just looks like correction outside. To me, this looks like an impulse, and this is just correction from this original impulse, and I think that this is going to continue to play out. Now, kind of what I'm seeing, this looks like a really solid market cycle here, where you actually have this trend line that you're riding, and then we smash through that only to pop back on the other side. I think that we might come back down and actually fall back onto this trend line one more time, maybe put us at about $3.80. That to me would be an area that I'd be watching. But for me, I think that this one is just severely underdeveloped based off of a market cycle perspective. We broke out of a bullish consolidation pattern, and now we are actually creating an uptrend from there. We have volume. We have a pretty decent amount of volume that's came in just over this last few months, and that tells me smart money is accumulating. So watch out for Monaco. Next up on the list is going to be Numair. Now, Numair is actually one that's continued to pump after his calls, and so this one is performing very well from the initial calls that he made. For me, this is probably the worst one that you want to be buying right now, because it already is up so much. I mean, from the original signals that he gave, you're looking, this one pumped hard, about 400%. So you would have made a 4x just from buying his coins. And so, you know, this is one that's overvalued compared to the rest of them. I would not be looking to buy right now. To be quite honest, I'd probably look to buy a retest of about 12 bucks if I was going to buy this. Now, I don't personally think I'd end up buying any of these besides the one I already bought, because I think that most of these are overvalued at this point. Because you guys got to remember that he releases his coins list, and he's giving them to his most he's giving them to the investors and the people that bought his signals that have the most amount of money. And it's going to be a pyramid no matter what way you do this. And that's the way pump and dumps work. I'm not saying that he's trying to pump and dump the market, because these are more longer term picks. But you guys got to remember that there's a lot of influential people that follow him, and they invest based off of his picks. And so, you know, if you're hearing about his picks the day after, you've just put yourself at the bottom of that pyramid. And so really now's not the time to be buying into these picks. To me, this one's already impulsed, and so it's already up 4x from a signal. I think that that's not the time to be buying. It doesn't mean that it looks terrible, because it obviously doesn't, but to me, this one was a dead giveaway. We were riding on this trend line, and now we've actually bounced and broke into new all-time highs. And so for me, the time to accumulate this one would have been at that trend line. I think that you could make a stab at, you know, about $12, somewhere in that range if we fell back down. But for me, I would personally not be watching this one very closely, because it's already deviated so far from the rest of them. That's the problem with these signals, is you don't want to really be buying them after the fact, because, you know, that's when everybody's already bought. And so for me, this one being 4x from its lows in which the signal was made, I personally would not be watching this one. I think this one's a little bit deviated from the rest of them. Now, next up is going to be Streamer. This one and the other one follow a pretty similar trajectory. This one's up significantly from the call of the signal. Now, I think that it's important. Good Lord, 7x. So these ones are low cap coins that once he made the signal, everybody FOMO'd into them, and they really pumped hard. And that's why the biggest thing right now, I don't think now is when you want to be buying any of these. And to be honest, I think that the initial buy pump that'll happen from his call will be pretty crazy, and then it'll start to sell off, and that's the point in which you want to be actually looking into those. Now, I think that with this video, it's important to look into the fundamentals, go and research all of these coins, figure out what they are, if you believe in them long term, because if you're actually interested in buying, it's important to understand why you're buying them, because obviously these are his picks for fundamental reasons to buy these coins, because so they're going to be strong fundamental use cases, but I'm only going over the technicals, and from the technicals, you don't want to be FOMOing into these. In fact, you'd want to be waiting for a potential sell-off. If I was watching this crypto, I would wait for about this move here all the way back down to about 30 or 3 cents. That's what I would personally be watching, because that is a support and resistance flip. FOMOing in right now, you have the opportunity to lose a lot of money, and if you FOMO'd in at the top and we did sell off to where I would say to buy, you know, you could have got a 35% discount. But this one actually looks good. This is one of my favorite ones from the pick, just because the volume profile lines up significantly. We have a lot of volume. On top of that, this looks like a really solid market cycle, and I think the volatility dying out like it has here, this big pump that we saw, that's smart money accumulating at the terminal end of correction. We got this one final sell-off, and now we're popping up into new all-time highs, well, new cycle highs from these lows, I should say. But I think that with us coming so close to these resistances, now is not the time to be where you want to be buying. I think we could go up a little bit higher, maybe to about 6 cents. But for me, I'd be much more inclined to catching a retrace on all of these coins. So I think if you were going to be watching this one, the best place to be watching for would be about here at 3 cents. That would be a support and resistance flip. We could still go up a little bit higher here. We could go up and then fall back down. I don't know how it's going to work. The problem with these guys is you don't know how many people bought these, and so these ones could just start FOMOing in, and you already missed the boat. And so for me, you've pretty much already missed the boat with these. But if you were looking to rebuy, you definitely want to be looking at the last resistance level that we actually flipped. Now, status, this is one that I actually think is looking better based off of the rest. If you were looking to buy one of these, Enginecoin, Monaco, and Status are going to be the best bets because these are a little bit less pumpy compared to the other ones. But I actually like this one probably the most from a market cycle perspective. Look at all of this volume that came in here around October. That's a very clear giveaway that smart money is actively accumulating this. We can see that pretty much the volatility is dead. Even the lower low that we made was practically nothing. And so the fact is, guys, I would say that this is a major level to watch out for. I would say that if we could clear above this level at about 2 cents, 2.5 cents, then that's going to set us up pretty strongly for bullish upside. But with where we're at right now, we're still trending underneath resistance. With a lot of people trying to FOMO into these, now is not the greatest time, like I keep saying throughout this video. Now, we can see here that we are impulsing still, but with us being underneath this major resistance, I don't think that it's probably the best setup that you're going to find here. Now, for me, I like the way it looks from a market cycle perspective. I do believe that we finished around the terminal end of this correction. We pumped, we failed to break lower, and now we're impulsing from that. I would say that once we can clear above 23 cents, then that's going to set us up. I would actually be looking to hold for some of my long-term spot entries if we did actually break above this level, because I think that that would be a major support and resistance flip. Now, if we pull up our trading plan tool, from where we're currently sitting to the all-time high mark, it's about a 37x return. So this one, based off risk to reward, has good upside potential here, just to that new all-time high mark. And so these are the type of coins where you'd throw 50, 100 bucks in, kind of forget about. To me, I would wait for obvious levels to be breached or held support upon. Like this one, I've already been buying this one since down in here, so I'm holding this one for the long term. If I was looking at Monaco, I'd probably wait for it to drop back down to this trend line. Numeric and data, they're already too high that I'm not too interested in those. But for this one, I'd be looking for a major support and resistance flip. And that's really the case to be most of these. With like Streamer, this one's already broken out of its resistance, and so I'd be looking to buy the retest of that. Now with Status, we haven't broke the resistance, and so for me, I would be waiting for the breakout of that resistance, and then second we flipped back above that, then I think that I'd be looking to be buying. But for me, that's what I'm going to be watching out for with these coins. I think that long term, these do have a significant use case, or otherwise he wouldn't have made them. And so I think that it is very important that we talk about these. I wanted to go through and give you guys some technical perspective, more or less just to bring awareness, because obviously these aren't the best looking setups. Some of them have already pumped. I think that obviously Engine, Monaco, and Status are the best setups here, but I think it's important that we spread awareness to these picks, because this guy is very consistent with picking the best performing cryptos. And so, you know, by throwing $100 down, you guys don't have a lot to risk, but you could potentially make a 10x return or higher. And so for me, that's why I always like to talk about these. It could be a pump and dump. None of these could pump, but my guess is that this guy actually does know what he's talking about, and that we will see a rise out of these. I think that I want to talk about mainly enginecoincrypto.com Crypto.com and Status, because these are the ones that are the most undervalued. The other two have pumped pretty significantly compared to the rest of the pack. And so I think that it's important that now's the time, if there was a time, to keep these on your radar. The time to buy these was before he made the call, obviously. But the thing is, guys, even if you go look back at some of his other calls that he's made, even if you would have bought after the fact everybody else already FOMO'd, you still could have made a lot of money. And so I think that with this guy knowing what he talks about, having some of the best connections inside of the crypto space, if he lists these as his top 5 coins, you guys know that there's a significant fundamental reason why. And so that's why I think that we should keep awareness to these. I'm going to be keeping awareness to these just because of the fact I think that a lot of these could be setting up, specifically Status, Crypto.com, and Engine. I've already bought Engine. I'll be looking for positions in Crypto.com and potentially Status, but those are not a given. To me, I've already accumulated my favorite long-term picks. Just because a guy comes out and labels these as his next top 5 picks doesn't necessarily mean I'm trying to sell my bags and FOMO into these. Really, these would be gambling coins that I would just throw a couple $100 down maybe just for fun. But that's why I want to make this video, is because I know a lot of people have been talking about this guy and Teeka and how his coins actually perform really well. So I figured that I would talk about the technical perspective around these, talk about some levels that I'm watching, kind of what I'm expecting long term. But for me, this is the analysis I had for you guys. So if you found any value in this, always remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more updates. Make sure you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. If you guys want access to my video course and signals, click in the description of this video, click in the click the invite, and then you guys are actually going to get access to my server. Once you have access, shoot me a message and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.